Morning, folks. Certified hoarder here. I am out grazing goats. This is a little skid road that goes out to the woods and back up to the front part of the property where I pull logs out. But it grows in, as you can see, it gets all brushy. This goes to a trail system. There's a couple thousand acres out back behind me. It goes to a trail system I like to ride my mountain bike on. And maybe about a 4 or 5 mile loop I like to ride. And it gets so brushy and full of spider webs and ticks, and the grass gets, up to your pocket. So I really probably need to put my mower deck on and go out and mow the whole trail. But I have been walking these goats out here, and it has been helping to keep the brush back, keep the trail from growing in so much, and I keep moving a little bit further at a time and just hanging around in one spot. And they conjugate around me, obviously, and they do their job. Got where is he? Fat boy right there eating. So I'm getting back to normal. My dad visited for 2 weeks on 2 days' notice, which was the first time he ever came to this state in 8 years of us living here. He flew in for an auction on 10 acres next door. That it's kind of an insane story how we missed the auction. But I don't even want to rehash it, but at least that question mark in my life is settled. It's sold to a good owner, and all the riffraff that's over there won't be my responsibility anymore. I will be moving I rent the place from one of the dope heads that kind of owns it. It was his mother's property. He just got arrested again. He's, in and out of jail continually. We get along okay. I don't want to call him my friend, but I care. I love him because Jesus says I'm supposed to love my enemies. So he's my enemy who I love. It's an interesting thing. It's a life-changing thing. Love your enemies. But anyhow, I got a knuckle boom over there and a pile of firewood logs and stuff. And so now that it's sold, I'll have to plan on moving equipment, moving that back over here. When my plan was to own it, it was like 6 years we waited for the auction. My dad came down with the money to buy it. He wanted it. So the plan in my head was, well, that's room to put all the other junk I've still got to I don't even want to get into any of that. I'm an obsessive compulsive hoarder. But it serves a purpose. The purpose of my life, the purpose of my life is to glorify my Lord and Savior at this point. But the purpose that I created before that was to leave behind basically a factory, a business, something, a way to make money for my children. And if they don't want to do it, then, for whoever I hire. But I'm a capitalist. I think you're supposed to work to make the money, to buy the food, to feed your family. And you all need Jesus. So you can't go to work if there's nowhere to work. The means of production, what do you go to work for? To produce something. And I am a productive person. I'm into machinery, I'm into equipment, I'm into extracting resources from the earth that God gave us. And I'm not going to dictate what my kids do after I'm gone. But I know what opportunities came my way, and what kind of equipment and stuff came my way, and I grabbed what I could. And the plan was always to set it up on this property, the one that I live at right now, the junkyard. It was always to be an industrial property, not to live on it forever. The possibility of building a home out back here that is out in the woods an eighth of a mile from the industrial site, so you don't have to look at it, that was always the plan. But we own another property down the street, so that one's even nicer. Come on, this way. Come on back, you fools. Get back here. Hey. Come on, get some corn. There you are, Stampede. Right here, look on the ground. Right here, pal, look on the ground. Right down on the ground, eat it. Goats, fearful creatures. Fearful, stubborn, and set in their ways. I've learned a lot about people from goats, and I understand now that Jesus spoke in parables with livestock in a lot of ways to teach about people. The problem with people is that they've got words and they've got a subconscious. A goat is a fearful animal. It operates on subconscious and it doesn't tell you words to say, oh, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. The thing is scared and it can't hide it. And it allows its fears to control its actions. Humans do the same exact thing. The goat does not have the capacity to speak and complicate matters. So a goat doesn't look up at a shepherd and say, I'm running away because I've got to go to sleep early to wake up for the gym tomorrow. That's not what a goat says. That's what your spouse says, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, when they don't want to actually engage with you, because engaging with their feelings makes them fearful and uncomfortable. So you sit there thinking it's one thing, but it's not. If you just could understand that there's fear and that they're operating from fear of you, then you could modify your behavior so as to not be fearful for them. And then your relationship could change. Your relationship dynamic could change. But a human is endowed with all this capacity to send you on wild goose chases and convince you that the problem is not the problem and that 10,000 things that aren't the problem are the problem. And you can waste 15 years trying to correct all the problems that aren't the real problem without ever understanding the real problem. It has taken me walking goats around out in the woods with no fence. Right now they could run off. A dog could come in, a truck could come driving up, a quad could come by, and they could bolt and just disappear. 1,000 acres out here, easily. But they want to stay with me because I am the safe space. I am the shepherd. They know my voice, they know my call, they know that I'm good for them. I mean, yeah, I'll whoop them when they are being stupid. When they're knocking stuff over in my shed and just destroying everything, yeah, I'll shoot them with a BB gun or chase them down and whack them with a stick. So I will take care of business. They know I can be brutal, but when we're out here, I'm the safest thing around. If it's between me and a mountain lion, believe me, they'd rather come to me and get a whooping than go to the mountain lion and get eaten. And that's kind of a lot of how life is. You know, do you really think that a father's job is to say yes to everything his children want? No. If you can't lay down discipline in your household, you are not being a very good father. If all you do is show up with a debit card, pick your kids up once a week and take them to, Toys R Us and spoil them and then drop them back off with mom, that's not a father. That's a friend. That's a fairy godmother. That's an auntie. Okay, that's not a father. A father's job includes discipline and punishment. People don't like to hear that word punishment. Bad behavior requires punishment. Where do you think... I don't want to get too sidetracked, and I got this horsefly eating me up now. I guess this one's probably long enough. Let's start another one.